Laudati.
Hey, what's
Welcome,
up, man?
welcome to the show, man. How's everything with you?
It's going good, man. I got all the books cleared out. Everything's rocking and rolling.
Awesome. Congratulations on the release, by the way, and the fact that it just sold out pretty quickly. Though, congratulations on that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I guess I should have made a couple more copies, but it's better to get rid of them. But that,
Yeah, I feel you on
yeah,
that one.
What's with like the exclusive releases? You really did you guys study up on supply and demand, and you really just like revved up the interest and excitement? I love it. You know what I mean? It's
no,
kind of wild.
I wish that was the case. I was just at my mom's house trying to steal all her ink and paper before she found out. So I was like, all right, I'll cap it at 20, and that's like one trip to Costco for ink.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, that's the way to do it. I don't want my mom to ground me.
Nah.
definitely not. Definitely not. That's definitely never a good time. Never a good time ever. And right?
Yeah, word. No, so yeah, yeah. I'm just don't mind me because I'm still trying to gather my thoughts from earlier and right now. But yeah, I guess we'll start with this. As far as poetry and stuff like that, how did it all start for you?
Um, well, the way Bone Machine started, I had a mutual. So I went to Ramapo College. It's like a state school in New Jersey. I met a dude there who was a skateboarder, and they were trying to create like a Vice sort of like Big Brother magazine, which they like never really got off the ground. We were supposed to get grants and stuff like that. It never happened. So they were like, "Oh, let me publish your book," and they had a friend of mine in Texas, Tom Young, who was also like a poet. And he had a mutual friend too. Anyway, so he's a lot older than me, but we met through this group of skateboarders, and they were doing good for a while. Like they got our books.
Whoa. Back up, back up, back up. Are you telling me there was a skate poetry culture, subculture that I was not aware of?
No,
Rewind.
no,
Let's
no.
talk about that.
Yeah.
What are you saying here? There was a poetry skateboard subculture going on you across the country with this,
Hell
or what?
no. No, there was no poetry. There was no poetry whatsoever. Like this was before the internet, and like at that time, I didn't even know. I was like writing poems, but I thought I was the only person on earth writing poems. I didn't know anybody else was writing poems. This was like in 2009 or whatever. So I was like, wow, I'm the only living person writing poems. This is gonna be sick. And then obviously Instagram came out, and I found out every single person on earth was writing poems. But the skateboard thing was just like a bunch of gnarly dudes who I was friends with, we were in bands with, and my book Play the Devil got put out years ago by another indie press in Lancaster. And he was cool, but like they didn't edit the book right, and like it was kind of messy, so I had to take it out of print right away. And then when my friend started this magazine that never even made an issue, I was like, "Oh, I got this book. You guys want to put it out?" And they were like, "Hell yeah, we're gonna be like Vice, man. It's gonna be skateboarding. It's gonna be drugs." Like nobody did anything really, but they did a good job with our books. Like they got them in a lot of stores and hands. And then like 6 months ago, I realized that nobody was doing anything with Bone Machine anymore except me and my friend Tom in Texas. So I was like, let me take it over because like now I have some followers and stuff like that. I was like, I can probably take this thing like to the next level. So that's why I want to do this chapbook thing, like a reintroduction of Bone Machine, get everybody excited. And then we're going to start dropping like real full-length books now. But that was we're back, get the fucking line, we're here. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. No, and everything you said, I actually relate to you in that aspect because that's what it was with this platform, Unraveled Influence. Also, I've been doing this since I've been in the community since 2020. I mean 2018, but the community page thing, that the platform didn't exist till 2020. It was under a different name called Jam Them Down, which eventually became In Sessions Live, and it was such a struggle as far as like for identity, I guess, of what I wanted this platform to be. And then, long story short, this year, I ran into a post from Angela. I'd never met her before. I didn't know I was following her. And then here we are doing stuff now.
Hell yeah. You got to find the right people. I mean, like, you always want to start doing stuff with your friends, obviously. And, like, I'm a band dude. And, like, I wanted to do all this with my boys, man, and like succeed together. But like it never. Everybody's got different ideas. Most people don't
Yeah.
want to actually do anything. So my friend Tom Young and I are still like running this together, but everybody else has kind of like dropped out.
Oh,
So now it's good.
damn. Okay.
It feels good now though. And we're all still best friends. They just like they have kids and stuff. It's you know they're all in
Sometimes
like a
it's better when it's a smaller group because you can collaborate,
This
and
is true.
communicate easier. You know, too many cooks, you know,
yeah.
spoil. You know, with
Well, we
too
grew
many
up.
spices. But it's very interesting. I do find your upbringing very fascinating. What year were you? Like, what year was it when you thought nobody else in the world wrote poetry but you? I just got to know what year that was.
Like 2008 or 9 maybe. I started like just like because I was away at college, so I was like partying all the time and like hanging out. So that's when I started like writing poetry. I found Jim Carroll. Somebody introduced me to Jim Carroll, who was like he was still actually alive at that point. But I was just like, oh, punk rock poet saying the stuff that we say. Like I didn't know who Bukowski was at that point. Like I only knew the classics. So like when I found Jim Carroll, I was like, oh, he's like one of us. Like I can write like this. And then thankfully years later, I found Bukowski after I'd been writing for a long time. So he was never a part of my like formative thing. And so many poets I see are just like rewriting Bukowski. It's like if you find him at 15, I think it ruins your poetry career because then you're just trying to write like him. You know.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I found one like a punk dude like us, like Jim Carroll, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I could do this. So that was like 2008, and then 6 years later, I got an Instagram, and I was like, oh man, I wasn't the only one writing poetry. Every single person, all 30 million people on Instagram are also writing poems.
So you went from like I'm the only person in the world to holy shit, I'm with everybody in the world. Did that connect you? It seems like you got connected to everybody on Instagram, but at the same time, you're saying you found kind of your niche with you and Tom Young doing this whole experience, like this upbringing, this uprising, this Bone Machine Inc. together. Is that what I'm hearing?
Hell yeah. We like oh man. Yeah, it's like I don't know. I'm kind of like I don't want to sound like a jerk, but like luckily like I had a lot of stuff written already before I got on Instagram. So then I was able to spend a lot of that time like networking and like connecting with other people, and like I already had a lot written, so like I wasn't like learning to write on Instagram, like posting like oh, here's my poem, like it's not done yet. And then I look back because the stuff I had written before that, it was so cringy and embarrassing that like if I had put that on Instagram and it was around forever, I would be mortified every single day. So I'm lucky I was just like a little bit older than that, and I'm thankful for that every day.
Wow. I just want to read something from the comments. Robert Kazi says, hold on. I agree with what you had to say about Bukowski, which is true. It's funny, you're not the only person that said that. I think Arthur Wilhelm actually said something similar to that magnitude about Bukowski. So it's pretty interesting. I keep hearing that about him, that, like if you read him at a certain time or certain place, like you start to write like him. Like I've heard multiple people say that. Yeah. Why do you think that is? I'm just curious, in your opinion.
I think it's because he figured out how to write about our lives like in such a simple way that if you on the surface you look at it and you're like, oh, I could do this, I could write this, I've had these feelings before. My friend Andrew, he's Crap Hound, he's actually watching right now, he's made a very good point, because we were talking about this and he said that like the difference is like when Bukowski was a kid and going to school, like you had an education in school at that point of poetry, of literature. So while he might seem like a drunk loser bumbling around, he actually had a great foundation and education. And we don't have that anymore, really. So like you read him and you're like, oh, I could do this. And you can emulate it sort of, but without the depth. And like, I think it's because we don't get the background now. So people are trying to write like that because our lives are still shitty, but like they're missing out on like a core thing, I think.
Here, I got an opinion. Andy. Ask me the question. I think I got an opinion too. I liked your opinion, but let me see if I have a perspective, if you agree with it too. Or
Kick
Andy,
it.
ask me.
Kick it.
Ask me the same question. I need the wind up. Throw me the softball, honey, so I can hit it out.
Uh,
You know, let me knock
why
it out the park. Come on.
why do you think people feel the same way about Brukowski when it comes to like when you read his pieces and then feeling like you might end up writing like him? Like, why do you think that's the case in your opinion? Because I've heard this from
Got it,
multiple people before.
Andy.
So
I
it's
got it.
like,
Thank you. Let me get the
okay,
ball now.
oh my,
It's because these dudes are finding them, like you said, at 15 years old, right at the pinnacle of that male angst. The angry man, you know, your life is sucky. And he was able to go into that raw, blunt, brash, and then also take it to that out there kind of blunt sexual rage that men also have in between, and then also telling the truth of how fucking life sucks sometimes. And I think people respond to that and people want to grow from that, and then you just start piling on your own shit in that same kind of cadence. But you're right, he did actually have a little foundation, you know. I'm big, great foundation. I like Bukowski, absolutely, but like you said, people either really punch it really hard onto that or not, because at the end of the day, the guy's chauvinistic.
Well, can I piggyback on that real quick? Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, and like I think he's a great poet. Like, a lot of the lines, I'm just like, gee, like he summed up like 30 of my thoughts in like one amazing line. But also, like, for whatever reason, like I'm in the carpenter union, right? And like a lot of people I'm meeting on the road who are poets are also like UAW workers or like some kind of like manual labor thing. And I don't know why that lends itself to poetry so much, but like you know, going back to Bukowski, you're like the punch clock.
Job is hard. That job is hard, and people don't realize how grueling physically those jobs are and how mentally taxing they are, because they think of just the blue collar. They don't think about really what that person is doing in that job. And I think there's a lot of anger there, and that's okay. It's okay to have that, because you get to go and do your work and you go home to your family and you make a good living. Some of them absolutely do. But at the end of the day, you really are taxing your body a lot more than a lot of other occupations.
Yeah, so a lot of I think there haven't been many like mainstream, obviously like blue collar, successful. I mean, I'm from New Jersey, so we have Bruce Springsteen, obviously, but like, you know, there aren't like so many of them. Usually, it's a nepotism thing or like a rich kid thing. So, you know, I don't know, whatever. I don't even read
makes sense. No, you know what's funny? I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know who he was until I entered the poetry community on Instagram. That's when I first heard of him. I've never read any of his pieces, so I get what you're saying, because, you know, like I said, like most people have told me that, but I've never actually read any of his stuff. But I only heard about him because of this community. And I'm just gonna read the comments quick. Robert Kazi says, I think people naturally try to emulate their heroes, and it's trendy to want to be on the fringe, which I agree with that. And then Schizo Trash Poet says, having our cringe work out in the world sometimes shows our development, and it also shows, and it should also laugh my ass off. And then Kiki Poetry says, other writers inspire us if we let them, but our verses stay our own. And Robert Kazi said, yes, I think he's better short story writer. I personally don't care for his poetry. Thank you, Robert. I thought he was the only one that was kicking poetry. So I'm just reading all the comments. And then Andrew, Crap Hound of Love says, Scott's fingers tells the tale. And then Zeus _ SV says, I agree with you both. There's a couple of poems I like. Factism is so good. Okay, so I'm just trying to catch up with all the comments, or maybe by, you know, we're interacting with the audience and stuff like that. So yeah, those are the comments so far.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when I was like, Green Day was my favorite band. Like the first 100 songs I wrote on guitar, I was trying to sound exactly like Green Day, you know? Then you build on that, and then eventually you know, so I mean, you obviously have to start trying to write like the people who inspire you. So it's a good thing. I mean, just, you don't want to plagiarize or rewrite what somebody else has written, you know? Take it and then build on it.
It's interesting too with the plagiarizing thing. I know, you know, it's interesting, like, I don't know if this happened to, I think it was Ed Sheeran. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Ed Sheeran. He got sued for, I forgot what song it was. And he wasn't legit trying to emulate anything, but it sounded very similar to another song that existed. He got sued for it. But I'm just curious, right? Why do you think stuff like that accidentally happens?
Well, with poetry, I mean, there's only so much. A lot of us are writing about ourselves in our own lives. So it's like, why we all think that we're very different from each other. Like, we're really not. And especially at this time, I mean, it's like you move from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter. Like, you know, it's like the world has gotten very small. We're all on our phones all the time. We were all reading the same books. There's like 6 movies that get released every year. So, like, we're going to sort of sound like each other anyway as time goes on more and more. But I don't know. As far as the plagiarism thing, I have no idea. I don't listen to Ed Sheeran, so I don't know anything about that.
I like that. Well, we have too many people right now, and we always want to have this too, but we have a request to hear one of your pieces from a couple of people in the room. So I think that's the right time to have you go ahead. You got something ready for us?
My poems?
Absolutely. If they want to hear one of your poems, that's what Kiki_poetry would definitely ask for.
Okay, hold on. I have all these chat books right here. Okay, actually, here's a new poem, and it's about like I've toured a bunch of times since January, so this one's kind of about that. It's called "Thus Passes the Glory of the World." I've seen Kentucky through this windshield 3 times since January. In winter, Nathan drives, and we're still tired from the night in St. Louis. In spring, I drive, and I remember a story about Whitman heading our way before turning south. In summer, it's Tom's turn, and we stop in Wheeling to see where the stagecoaches ran out of road before the bridge was built, and now it has collapsed. The grass is never blue, but the river's always brown. I haven't read a book written by a stranger in over a year. Every time I get into a car, there's a destination. It's not like walking. I always know where I'm going. On Sunday, we rob a grocery store and get out with 3 burritos and a 6-pack. Tom is taking us fast through the Allegheny Tunnel, and I use my lighter to open 2 of the beers. Will we sleep better tonight? Who lives inside these highway trailers? There are red lights appearing before us like deer eyes, wide and lost under a setting sun. I don't say slow down. We can sleep forever rubbed on this asphalt. We can dream in sentences buried beneath it.
Wow. Oh my God. That last line though. Oh. Cool. Wow. Can you repeat that last line, please? Because that was, oh shit, man.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I don't say slow down. We can sleep forever rubbed on this asphalt, and we can dream in sentences buried beneath it.
Yo, that line is fun. Yo, oh my God.
Oh, thanks.
What? Oh, shit, man. Wow.
All right, cool. I wish I always got that enthusiasm every time I did anything.
Andy, do you need a minute? Do you need a minute, Andy?
Oh, that line is so, oh shit. I've never heard of a sentence like that before. Holy shit.
Wow.
Yo.
Cool, thanks.
Woo. Yo. No, and this is authentic, and Angela would tell you, like, oh my God.
I love it too. I get it.
Did you hear what he said?
I did, but Andy, I can't even say anything because your reaction is too much for me. I enjoy it so much because I agree, Andy. Also, like people in the chat definitely said that the cadence, the way you delivered that piece really is what brought it. However, recently I went across kind of country as well, going from Austin. I live in Cleveland, so I went to Austin and back up. So a lot of that I can hear from that experience of those people who are, you know, those road warriors, those road grinders, and going past the bridge and then having it be broken and having the river be brown is because, you know, that really comments on how, you know, America's supposed to be beautiful, but we let it crumble right before our very eyes. And I get that. I felt that. And so while Andy's, you know, blown the fuck up here, I'm really I'm having an implosion here because I really felt the across the, you know, the continent with that one.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And we keep going on tour, man, and every town we go to, it's just like worse than the one before. It's like horrifying, and there's still like these beautiful people left behind who are like, you know, all their towns got ravaged by oxys or whatever, and they're clawing together some kind of art scene. Portsmouth, Ohio is one, you know, like all the Rust Belt cities. It's crazy.
Mhm.
And it's like, it's inspiring. You know, I don't know. It's like you said, we're supposed to be the best country in the world, and it's like, except for New York and California, it's really all collapsing.
Oh my God. You know, it's funny, but little by little, even though, because I'm originally from New York, but I live in Jersey, but like it's so crazy how, like I'm from Brooklyn, so in Williamsburg by the BQE, the Brooklyn Queens Expressway. It's so weird, right? So, you know, even though the area is so gentrified, but lately, the last couple of times I've been to New York, I'm noticing there's tents underneath the BQE now, and cops
Yeah,
are just standing there doing nothing. I'm like, wait a second, what is going on here?
yeah.
It's crazy to me that this is what it's becoming, and it's like I don't know what to blame it on. Do I blame it on rent? Like, do I blame it on cost of living? Like, what do you blame that shit on? Like, it's so crazy. Like,
Yeah, I live in Williamsburg, man, and it's like I was just reading that we
mm,
need 500,000 apartments in New York alone.
yeah,
500,000. It's like, how do you fix a problem like that, man? You don't charge
that's
3,000.
crazy. Yeah,
You don't charge $3,000 a month for a tiny ass apartment. That's not how you fix
yeah,
it. Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I remember because I got married in 2018. Then I moved to Jersey because I was like, yo, I couldn't do New York anymore. I felt like Brooklyn, New York. It just kicked my ass. But I remember so many spots too because I hang out with my friend Chris every Wednesday, and it's just like when we do go to Williamsburg, I'm just like, yo, this is so different. Like a lot of the spots I used to hang out is not there anymore, and it just got replaced to other shit. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck's going on? But one thing you say, yeah, the rent is crazy. One bedroom, it's like, yeah, like 3-4 grand for a fucking bedroom. I'm like, how is that possible?
I-
How? Like you have to be making at least 32 an hour or something.
yeah,
And it's yo, and it's like, and you know it's funny. I realized too, and it's only here that it's like that. You know, like the tri-state. Because if you go to Buffalo or I don't think rent's crazy like that. If it is, it ain't like insane like that though. But then
no.
it looks like a lot of the tri-state area, whether New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, whatever, it looks like it's slowly getting like that. Like it's crazy to me.
Every city I go to, they're like, "Oh, you should have been here 5 years ago. 5 years ago,
Yeah,
it's so affordable. Now it's out of control. Nobody can. Every city from
yeah,
Lawrence, Kansas.
yeah,
You can't afford to live in Lawrence,
yeah.
Kansas anymore. You know, it's like
When my
everywhere.
wife, yeah, back in I'm gonna say 2010, when my wife used to live, when my wife moved to Bayonne, she said, yeah, when I first moved here, rent was only $600 for rent for one bedroom, and then by the time I moved in with her, rent was like a thousand at that point. But now rent's little by little is going up and up, and I'm just like, but you were able to get a decent bedroom for 600. Now
Yeah,
you go online now, one bedroom now it's like 2 grand now
yeah,
in Bayonne. I'm like, yo, what the hell? And Bayonne's not even that kind of a town. Like, it's slowly getting gentrified, but it ain't no New York for you to be charging the price like that. And the
right.
way some of your areas are, it is not worth that damn money. Like, that is ridiculous.
I just saw somebody put pandemic in the comments. Like the
Mm,
like I know all our landlords got all that money, man, and then they didn't lower the rent. They didn't give us a break during the
mm-hmm.
pandemic. And then like Broadway, for instance, man, like none of the the actors got unemployment or whatever. But
Yeah,
I think J.K. Rowling got $30 million for her play being shut down during. Kanye West got $3 million. We all should have
wow.
we all should have a production credit on his last record because we all paid for it. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yup. Oh, shit.
revolution, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
I was big at Occupy Wall Street too, so we could go that route. And I could talk about killing landlords or whatever for an hour, whatever you want to do.
oh, my God.
Okay, well,
It's just,
please, if that's what you want to discuss, then go at it. This is your stage.
it's just,
We're just here to provide you the platform to speak your mind. So,
No, I mean, I don't know. That's how I lose friends and alienate people. So like, We could talk about chapbooks or whatever makes everybody happy.
Well, no, this is your show.
All right.
People don't always necessarily share their stuff. They let go of things that they need to let go, whatever they have on their mind, whatever it is. The conversation happens the way it happens. That's part of the show. But why chapbooks then?
Why chapbooks?
Like that segue?
Yeah.
Why chapbooks?
Well, okay, I gotta give another shout out to my friend Tom Bakalis or Bakalis. I don't know how you say his last name. He has Between Shadows Press. He did this for like 2 years, and it kind of like unified all these people across the country. And then he and I went to Gonzo Fest, the final Hunter S. Thompson send-off festival in like June, I guess it was, in Louisville, and I was just like, oh, like if he's not going to do the chapbooks anymore, like I'll do them on Bone Machine. And he taught me how to do it, like showed me like how to indent everything on the covers or whatever. And so shout out to Tom. He's not here, but if he ever sees this, thank you. And
Tom, you're not here, but we love you, Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We do. I'm a huge fan of Tom. I do follow Tom. I think he's awesome. I think Between Shadows Press has been great.
Yeah.
So absolutely, but he just won't do an interview.
Well, that's funny.
I've asked a couple of times. He does the polite thing by not answering.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He
I
introduced
like
the poem.
I like that. Thank you, Tom. Actually, I appreciate that because the rejection would just be too hard. Just don't answer my question.
He knows how to do it. Right, yeah.
It's a class act.
That's right. Right. Nobody's going to cancel Tom with an attitude like that. That's
Absolutely.
good.
Absolutely. I appreciate him so much. So people are begging for another piece from you. I know you want to talk about some of the poets that you have and that you just had for the 9/11 release, but let's have one more from you if that's possible. And then we can talk about some of the people you want to highlight and then maybe what's next for Bone Machine, because like that's incredible. Sold out pretty much within 24 hours or 1 week with all of them. You know what I mean? That's pretty fucking huge.
Well, I had people collect these like they do, like some people collect 7 inches and stuff like that, you know, like most of the people bought the whole collection. There was very few. Yeah, there were very few like, I want that one or I want those two. It was
the
like
whole selection.
The whole thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And remind everybody in the audience, although I'm sure everybody knows, how many did you actually release in that collection that came out on 9/11?
Yeah, I did 30. Oh, so there's 8 books. I made 30. I was only going to make 15, but then other things happened. So there's 30, and that's it. There's only 30 of every one of them. And that's all there will ever be. I'm going to do I want to do 3 releases a year for 10 years. So there's going to be another one around Christmas time. I already have the people for the most part. I have their manuscripts for that one. And I might do an open submission in the summer, like in June, but I'll let everybody know. But yeah, it's called Bone Machine, and I really like all these people. I try to do an even mix of like people who are known, maybe people who have been forgotten a little, people that I do readings with in Brooklyn because like the young kids have no interest in getting published at all. Like publication credits, what university published you means nothing to them. They don't care at all. They're just like online junkies. So like some of the better ones of those I've tried to like, I want to put one of theirs in each collection because some of them are very good, and it's they're not putting anything out themselves. They're just like reading live 7 nights a week. So I try to do a mix, you know, girls, guys, old, young, whatever, instead of just like the same circle jerk that I exist in. It wasn't usually
8 Charles. It wasn't 8 Charles Bukowski's. That's what we heard right now, right, Andy?
No, you got voices from all, which kind of made it hard because I would have liked to have done like a Bone Machine party or release or whatever, but
yeah,
everybody lives all over the country. It's not like there's like 8 guys from Jersey. It's like men and women from all over the country, Hollywood, Kansas. So,
did you meet those people when you were out on the road, or those are just people you met like through the artistry?
No, I'm gonna read one from my friend Sarah Etheridge. Her collection was probably my favorite. And when I lived in LA, I worked the overnight shift with her at the Standard downtown. And like, it was usually just she and I. It was dangerous as hell. Weird people and stuff were coming through. And then like, eventually she told me she wrote poems, never submitted them, never had any of them published. And I read them and I was like, these are amazing. You have to let me put some of these out. So I'm really excited you did because she's really good.
And what year was that when you met her and read the poems?
That was probably 2016. It was right before 2016 because I moved back because when Trump got elected, I thought like I mean we honestly thought that the world was going to end. So I was like I should be close to my family.
For sure.
Yeah, I was like I should be close
we
to
all
my
did.
family.
I
Yeah.
still think it is.
Yeah. So well,
sometime.
now we're just in this like purgatory or like
yeah,
whatever.
I think it already happened, and we just don't even want to believe it. We're just barely holding on, Andy. We're barely holding on.
I'm holding on by a thread. I'm like, I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Yeah. I'm like slipping. I have to switch fingers.
Yeah.
I can't use my whole hand, bro.
It's time to give up, man.
Don't give up, everybody, because this is what we're doing this tonight.
It doesn't get better.
Yeah.
It does get better because we're having this conversation tonight, and we're acknowledging that sometimes it doesn't get better, and that's okay if it's shitty for a while. It's okay.
Yeah.
But mathematically,
true. I mean, a lot of the album. Okay.
Statistically, mathematically, how many bad days in a row can you actually have?
What are we on
I
now?
knew you were gonna bring up math.
I don't. It's a rhetorical question. Let's move on. I'm just saying that's my thought process.
The answer is math. I know, Angela. It's fine.
If it's mutually exclusive, you know, it doesn't matter how many times you roll the dice and got one. You could roll the dice and get a 6 one time. When it comes to good days, you never know. You never know. Anyways, back to Sarah. You said Sarah had poetry that was really amazing that you guys learned about in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So, coworker, she's still in Hollywood. I moved home. This is her book. It's sold out, but keep an eye out for her name. I think she'll be pretty big. This one's called, I just opened this up randomly, Defensive Pot, Black Kettle. There are people who stay, who do not turn away from uncomfortable, who practice curiosity, who know how to take their armor off, full of grace, who give time and space to allow others to do the same. Mirror to the grave, I want to believe there are people who stay. Nice and short.
Wow.
Yeah, she's good.
I love that. I love that a lot.
Well, you know what? Let me read one more from her. 9 p.m. in the Garden of Hollywood. The slow glow of a dead-end street. New blue light breaking through. The ficus tree shading my window. Holding the night stars. Holding me. White of the floodlight. Gray concrete. The sandstone wall separating us. For motions of highway, Sundays are quiet. The ficus stands still. A well-deserved respite from filtering, a week's worth of dust and voices. A brown bird is building her nest in tonight's lulled branches. I'll hear her in the morning, awaiting the hungry hatchlings, joining her in anticipation. I welcome a bit of birth at the end.
Wow.
She's pretty good, yeah.
Wow.
She's great. Yeah, she's great. She's not pretty good. She's really good.
Yeah, that last line, Andy, did to me what that last line in the other poem did to you. That was an amazing last line.
Yeah.
Also, like style, and maybe it's also just the way you're presenting us tonight, but it just has this kind of like static beat, you know, to it. It's pretty interesting to hear it. It definitely gives you that. It's not choppy in a bad way. It's choppy in a like, oh, I want to figure out where this all kind of pieces together. And at the end, you hopefully have that picture all put together for you. And that's how I felt. She's really incredible with that.
Wow.
Yeah, she is definitely.
Hey, yeah. You know, we should try to get her on. Just saying.
Yeah, get her on. She'll do it. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying that. I have no idea if she'll do it. But
well, if she won't do it, please don't say no. Just don't answer the question, and that'll be fine with me. It's no problem. I'm not afraid of that.
All right.
Oh man. Wow. No, what a night. I'm on cloud 9. Like it's crazy. Because I had a pre-recorded episode recorded earlier with another guy named David Gutton, and that episode was like, oh shit, and then I come here and it's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Like, oh my God, like it's so insane. Like I love it. Wow man. No, again, thank you for being here, man. It's every time I do these lives with Angela, like it's like I'm always learning something new, and I love that. That's the way it should be in these interviews. So thank you.
Hell yeah. Well, I've got plenty of poetry here, man. I'm surrounded by these.
All right, give
Give
us
us
some
more.
more.
Give us
Yeah.
another one. Give us another one from another one of the 8.
Okay. All right. Here's this is Tom Young. In this city, you can solve problems. If you get a flat tire, you can change it. Or call the guy down at Larry's Auto, and he'll send a truck out to get you in 20 minutes or less. But there's nothing I can do about her. She can't be fixed. Maybe it's the pills, but I think she's satisfied, letting me think she's satisfied when she isn't.
Wow.
So his book is full of like a lot of short ones like that.
But they got a lot of punch in that. Like that's
Yeah.
that's like a steak sandwich, like right to the
Yeah.
gut.
And you can tell he don't just bring in anybody, just anybody. Like this is like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the guy, I mean, he's kind of taking his seat like back from the Instagram or whatever, but during the Insta Poet era, this guy amassed like 60,000 followers overnight fighting with Ruby Carr and like all the other people. He was on there. He made up fake names and wrote stupid fake poems. Like there were like one line, and he was pissing off everybody, but also selling a ton of books. Like the New York Times wrote about him. They called him like the I don't know, like the fascist of the Insta poetry world, like all kinds of stuff. Like they were calling him a bigot and everything. Because he was like, these poems that you guys are writing are horrible, and so I could do it better. And like people from the people from the Jersey Shore show started sharing his poems like unironically, having no idea that he was making fun of them. Yeah, it was crazy. Tom Young. This is Nicole. This is Tom Young.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So I do. Okay, so I have a question myself. So, Bone Machine, right? Like, how did you come up with the name? That's a very interesting name.
It's a Tom Waits song.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of the lesser known ones, but like a great song nonetheless. Yeah. And obviously we're all huge Tom Waits fans, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. I know.
What you got, Angela?
I see people keep asking in the comments, is it Tom Waits or the Pixies? So who's Tom Waits?
Okay, I'm just trying to check out the comments quick. Angela,
Yeah.
You got any questions?
Yeah. So you talked about kind of like this earlier, like this network of poetry. Like you've been across the country, traveling before, and you're in Jersey now. What do you think of like the possibility, or like, that, I don't know, Andy, help me out. I don't know what my question is. I'm trying to think about, how Jersey poets get a bad rap. Have you heard that, Andy?
Do we?
No, I've never heard that.
Oh, okay.
That's new to me, but okay, that's good to know.
The Jersey thing.
I thought there was like kind of some infighting in between some of the shows.
Well, I know. No, I mean, from my understanding, I think what it is, there's not a lot of art in Jersey like that, in opposed to like New York, let's say. It's like it's very well known in New York. I'm not saying there's no art everywhere, but it's not as big and as popular as it is in New York City. I don't know if that's what you're trying to get at.
Well, I've been to Nashville, and I've been to places like around kind of where Jersey is, but not actually in Jersey. And people are saying that there is some sort of sticking point where people are not able to fully make the bridge, like Andy, how we were talking about. Because we're trying to build the bridge too. We're trying to have a live one in Jersey as well. Like we're trying to do open mic, and we want as many people as possible.
Yeah, 10:20, by the way, guys. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me, because this weekend I'm going to have. I've announced it before, but what I'm saying is like this weekend I'm going to have all the details. I'm going to post the announcement and everything. I'll have all the details, how to sign up, and all that other stuff. So just keep it on the lookout if you want to know. I guess you guys could send me a DM and I'll tag you, or I'll send a DM of the post as well. But yeah, event's free. If you guys want to participate in the open mic, the details will be there this weekend. So just keep it on the lookout for that.
So I was wrong then. I apologize. because in Nashville there was like people that were together that was in a group and then they separated and there was no reason for it, so people stopped going to each other's shows down there, and I thought the same thing was happening up there, but maybe I was wrong.
If there is, I don't know anything about it. I mean, my whole thing is I don't really get caught up in that, in whatever. I'm more like, okay, on, like, I'm gonna go to.
Poets have beef. Like we're like top beef.
This ain't music. What is it, Tupac and Biggie? Like, come on, man. This is not one of those.
Don't we want to try to get that like up there, like so we can get some like interest in what we're doing, because you're saying real things, right, Scott?
Andrew said it's all Robert Pinsky's fault. That dog fucker. New Jersey would never get respect.
Well, real quick, there is like a huge poetry thing happening. Like it's based out of Central Jersey. Like my friend Damian Rucci has like 7 shows a week. They're all packed, and through him, like a Schizo Trash Poet is in here. That's Florence. She hosts a show in Allentown, which is huge. We go out and read at her show all the time. Yeah, she has like a coffee shop and like a Barnes & Noble out there.
So that's good.
And then there's like, yeah, and it's like tons of people. I mean, it's a lot. Like, so there's like the Jersey thing, and it's kind of spreading, and it's completely separated because I live in Williamsburg. I go read there all the time, and it's like a different crowd. It's like a different sort of thing, and like it really hasn't connected too much. I'm the only person I know who bounces back and forth, and like
exactly. So that's what I'm saying, because there's comedians and bands that travel. What's happening? Why can't we get it together? Why don't we do that? Why aren't there more traveling poetry groups?
Well, we could be the first, you know.
Well,
I travel for poetry. I don't do it in my hometown. I don't read it.
You know, Sonny, I met Angela twice already, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say that it is like, if you take New York City out of the equation, like I was up in Troy, New York this week. Well, I did a reading in Troy this weekend at the Herman Melville House, right? So it was like,
I wanted to ask about that. Thank you.
That was awesome. I would love to talk about that. Yeah. So there's a guy I read with, James Duncan, right? He runs the Hobo Camp Review, which is like kind of a big deal up in the Hudson Valley, and has published like a whole bunch of stuff. People that you would know. And so I read with him. Now he's having a bunch of us from Jersey come up and read at a theater in Albany. And like I said, like Florence is out in, Allentown. And then, so we have like this Jersey
almost there,
thing.
Cleveland. Let's get to Cleveland now. And then
so we go to Columbus. We go read in Columbus constantly. And there's like a whole group of people in Toledo. And then we stop.
I'm going to Columbus.
Yeah. So we do the I-70 corridor.
In Columbus, Andy.
It's happening. You'll see it. Yeah.
All right.
It's
let me
happening.
know when you guys in Columbus. I'll work on my craft.
Hell yeah. We're going to be in Columbus next month. You have to come and hang out.
Oh, God damn it, when? Because I'm fully booked. God damn it, October. I would love to, because October 14th, I'm going to be going to that I'll Be JC Poetry Club. They're having their first ever open mic, and they're going to be in Queens. And then less than a week after, that's when Andy and I are having ours in Bayonne, New Jersey at Shorty's Bar and Grill. No, just bar, right? I don't know why it's Shorty's Bar. It's because I'm in Ohio, so we always have a bar and grill. There's never just really dive bars around here. But it's really cool. The owners are super dope. They're super cool. One guy's like a professional roadie. The other one's like an art teacher / artist. They're fucking incredible. So excited for that. But so when's the October date? I mean, if you have it announced, you can.
No, that's okay. It actually might be like right at the beginning of November. We're booking, so we're doing a tour.
That's perfect.
All right, perfect.
That's perfect. I'll be there.
We'll see you there.
I travel in Columbus. That's no jive. 2.5 hours, and that's nothing for me.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna be driving. I'm going to Alkaline Tree tomorrow, so I'm actually going to Pennsylvania tomorrow. I would have gone tonight, but I had the show, so I'm driving 5 hours tomorrow.
Damn.
5 hours back.
Look at you. Damn.
That's like from here to Richmond, Virginia. That's crazy. Or like DC or something. Yeah.
Dude, she'll drive like, we do. last time she was here, she drove from there to my house, to my area, and then we went to New York to meet up with another poet, Laudati, and that was another
My
freaking
girl, Queen Liberati, I love her. She's my
crazy. I was like,
soul
oh my
woman, and
god.
we are just separated at birth. I
But you
can't
know what it
believe it.
is?
I pray
What it
to
all
her.
comes
You don't
down to
understand. She's my
is,
God.
but you know what's crazy? What it all comes down to, in my opinion, I just feel like, yeah, we all meet each other virtually, but why can't we meet each other? Because since I've been here, I noticed a
Yeah,
lot
like
of poets
this.
I've interacted with, they're not that far from where I'm at. You guys are not that far from me. And I'm always in New York, and again, I'm always, obviously, I live in Jersey, so I'm obviously always in Jersey. Like, even Robert Kazi, he lives, I think, what, 20 minutes from where I'm at? So it's like, why can't we meet each other? Like, well, this is crazy. I love this. But, okay, back to, because I feel like we're drifting off topics now, Angela. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think so. I got my whole month of October and now November's plan. I got like this year's rolling and going. So what else? I mean, you said you have another release planned for Christmas time, winter time,
Yeah.
and you already have those people already set. How many
Liz
people?
Foshiz just joined. She's gonna have a book out with us right around
Nice.
Christmas time. Hell
Andy,
yeah.
this is an exclusive. That's an
Yeah,
exclusive, Andy.
it
We get the exclusive on the show.
is.
I don't know if you know that or not. So that's awesome. So how Liz Foshiz and who like and not you don't have to announce everybody, but approximately how many other poets or writers can we expect?
I'm gonna have an artist in this one too, who's gonna like send me signed prints that'll go along with his chapbook that I'm putting out. But there'll be 8. I think 8's a good number. I did 8 this time. It worked
It's good.
perfectly. 8's good. Yeah.
8
So
is great.
I'm gonna
Could
have
be a
one.
Hanukkah release.
Yeah, exactly. All my New Yorkers will love that for sure.
Traveling is crazy to me. Laugh my ass off. I white knuckled every drive to Jersey and cry the whole time. Laugh my ass off. That's my shit. Schizo trash poet.
Yeah, that's Florence. She's the one who runs the show in Allentown.
Wow,
Awesome.
yo,
Yeah, she's
we gotta
cool
take that
stuff.
out one of these days.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
why don't
definitely.
you read another piece for us?
All right, this is from my book, Bone House. This is like an oldie. This is actually the first book that Bone Machine ever put out. This is before I had anything to do with the production. It's called The Woolly Mammoth. Remember back when you were young? You thought you'd get a diploma the old-fashioned way. The first voice of a new generation screaming, "Get me out of here," or "I just want to go home." I heard it down hallways before we rolled dice on the bathroom floor. I heard it like a slave hears new religion raining from the trees. From homeroom to the principal's office, they tried to take it out, arrest your rage, but it stunk up every vein in your body like a clogged sewer, and you were never afraid to lose it. In the womb, you told me once. I was unhappy even then. And then there were the streets, the bus station in Newark, and the park 2 blocks down where the runaways raid the pigeon coops, and they find dead bums and cigarette butts dragged out. It was like a vacation home right on a river, under buildings like dead peaks so the sun never shined into your eyes. It was so you. Every move planned for the great story. Those were the days you were always looking forward to. The envy of every fool. You wrote your own legend and it kept me amused. I used to think that was pretty cool, but I'm invisible now. I'll fade away like the woolly mammoth. But you'll live on forever as some kind of Cinderella or the pinup girl.
Wow,
Bone House. Hey,
wow,
Tom Young's in the house. That's T.Y. Poet is the other guy I do Bone Machine with.
nice. What's up, Tom? Wow, what, bro?
Yeah.
You gotta talk to me about that piece, bro. Like, break that down for me, man. That is wow.
Yeah. I was just about like a girl I met at a show at the Boot and Elks Lodge. It was actually the first Newfound Glory show in New Jersey. I don't know if you know who they are.
I
Wow.
do.
I know. I knew
I've
Newfound
seen them.
Glory. Yes.
I've seen them.
My friends
I've
over
seen
you.
them.
Yeah.
I only go
Um.
to shows and I only travel for poetry. That's like the only 2 things I do in my life. That's about it.
Hell yeah. That was so I met her there. She was like a runaway and like the first. I don't know. I was from I'm from like a good home. Like my parents are still married and everything, and she was the first person I met who like we kind of like had a little thing, and I was kind of really attracted to her, like living on the edge and being kind of a runaway and having like
Edge.
cut marks on her arms. I was 14 at the time, so this was very, very attractive to me.
Yeah, she had some sort of
Yeah,
edge that you didn't have because you were living in a mayonnaise world.
exactly. And she didn't give a fuck, and I was like really dug that because like I always wanted.
Connection felt like you were healing some of that too, right?
Well, yeah, and but also like selfishly, I think I've always wanted to be able to like let go and like not care, and I was just never able to like just let myself like go like that. And
okay, I get it. I get you now.
Yeah, and then she had, I was like, I found it really, I don't know, like I wanted to be more like that, and I couldn't. But anyway, then
free.
she
You
like
to be free.
Yeah.
Free to be who you really were instead of who you were supposed to be because your parents raised you right. And so you don't want to disappoint them?
Exactly. And like, you know, I didn't like she smoked cigarettes. Like I thought that was cool as hell, but I didn't want to like smell like cigarettes because I knew I would get grounded.
You didn't want to get in trouble or disappoint the old parents.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not good in our suburb.
Nah, it's interesting though, the whole cigarette thing too, because I had friends, you know, I used to smoke cigarettes with my friends, and my friend had a washing machine, so I said, hey, can you wash my shirt quick so I don't smell like cigarettes when I go to my parents' house, because, you know, they found out I was smoking. It was crazy. We used to always hang out at this one friend's house, but we would go, and I'm like, oh, I smell like weed, or I smell like whatever. Yo, dude, just wash this for me quick. And then it's funny because sometimes my mom be like, why you smell like Downy? I'm like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's my cologne, Mom. That's my cologne.
Yeah, no,
like
you're crazy. You just watched this yesterday. Like I kind of had to bullshit her. Like,
that's how Tony
oh my
Soprano.
God.
That's how Tony Soprano got caught cheating every time. Yep.
Oh man, Scott's writing is always a laminate for what was lost, literal nostalgia. Pain of thinking of an abandoned home. That was by Crap Hound of Love. That's Andrew. And Schizo Trash Poet says, Scott, I still have that book by my bedside and want to make you a Donald Duck necklace.
That's from a different book. But thank you, Florence. That's cool as hell.
Oh, and then she said, yeah, it's just not the one you just read from, but you know the one. Oh, okay. There you go.
You know the one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I moved to Newark in like 2011 maybe. I lived in like a top floor of a warehouse that I don't know who owned it. We all paid $400 to a lady that showed up every month. There was like 30 people living on the top floor. It was cool as hell. It was like London or something in the 60s, and there was like a couple of rich girls that lived there who fed everybody, gave everybody cocaine constantly, and
wow,
really nice hostess.
Yeah, they were great. Shout out to Sharon.
You gotta feed them and the drugs for everybody. That's nice.
Yes. Thank you,
here's some drugs, guys.
Sharon, if you did, you have to bring them for the whole class now.
No, she did. Sharon was the best. But there was always, I don't know what was going on.
Survivor.
Yeah.
That woman would have run Survivor. Or no, Big Brother. One of those shows. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's
the cocaine. Go ahead.
Yeah, just there was like runaways always popping up in that. There's like a military park across the street from the Greyhound station, or the PATH train station. So I kind of used that imagery in this poem because I like. I was always like, you would walk past them and you'd be like, oh, those are like 12-year-old kids, like just living in this park. And because it was Newark, like Christie had just cut the police force in half, and like Newark was just a no man's land. You could just literally do whatever you want, but nobody was going to show up and help you if it went wrong. So,
and that's how it is in a lot of places. Absolutely, that's how it is still.
Yeah. So anyway, that was like that was kind of like the inspiration for the end of that poem. Yeah.
It's very it feels like that. It feels like that kind of crushing wave. Andy, do you think so?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that for sure. Yo, you got a way. I just gotta say, you have such a way with words,
Mm-hmm.
man. It's
Mm-hmm.
wow.
It is
Wait,
really
Rainer's
good.
not here, right? So I can say this.
Yeah, I won't tell Andy. I promise. I promise.
Don't tell Rainer, but yeah, I think I'm gonna retire from poetry after this.
No, don't
Yeah.
do that. That's
I
crazy.
mean, if you are
Oh
just
my
joining us,
god.
you have to watch the replay because I've never seen anybody react to a poem as much as Andy did after the first poem tonight.
Yo, like,
I
I'm
mean,
serious,
literally,
man.
I was uncomfortable with how credible Andy took it because I was imploding, but Andy was exploding all over this place
Oh my
over your words.
god.
So we are almost towards the end of our hour, which I can't believe that happened so quickly. So
Really?
like, what
Yeah.
are some other last kind of? Andy, you always have like the great last question or whatever.
Okay, so I always ask everybody here, years later down the line, we're not here anymore, whatever the case is, what kind of an impact do you hope to make? Like, what do you want people to remember you by when you're not here anymore? Like, when they hear Scott from Bowman Machine, what do you want them to remember?
Um, so I was like a journalism major in college. Like what I wanted to do was be a journalist, and like that never panned out. But like I really try to cover like not just I don't really write about love or anything like that anymore. I do sometimes when it's necessary, but like the wars, the poverty, the oxys, the broken families, the parents staying together who hate each other,
Yeah.
but because it's just like what you do in the suburbs, the loss of religion. Like I really want to leave a time capsule of this time behind. And so I think some of the people, some of my contemporaries, I think get fan bases faster because they hone in on one thing,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't know if I've spread myself too thin or whatever, but I really
I
want you
would
to be.
disagree.
Oh well, thanks, but if the aliens landed and picked up one of my books, I'd like them to be like, oh, this is what happened across the
Mhm.
world in this time period.
I would say you
That's
haven't because you've already lifted 8 writers with their words and their message that are akin to kind of what you are trying to do as well, and you're going to be continuing to do that along with doing your own writing and your own words, because what I've heard from you is your POV, your point of view is you really want to be that flashlight into all of the nooks and cracks inside the foundation of what's going to let us crumble. So you're kind of taking a hard, fast look at it so we can hopefully recognize it. And that's kind of what I'm hearing from you. So it's
that was
okay.
great.
I don't think you spread yourself thin because you're also lifting other people as well.
Cool. All right. Well, that's amazing. Thank you for saying that. That was a way better way of saying what I was trying to say. And in that vein, Dalton also throws the shows with Florence in Allentown, and I didn't give him a shout out. I just gave Florence a shout out. So Florence and Dalton have done a great job
Thanks,
building
Dalton.
this in Allentown. So thank you, Dalton. Sorry I left you out before. Just wanted to throw that in.
Thank God, because I did not want to have to do like another correction segment that we forgot. We didn't want to forget Dalton. Right, Andy?
Totally. Dalton rules. Yeah.
Word.
I mean, because Dalton will say no. Dalton won't just ignore me. Dalton will say no.
Yeah.
when I ask for the interview, right, Andy?
Yes. Oh my God. Here we go. Oh my God. But Scott, I just want to say thank you so much for just inspiring us and just having a great conversation with us. I'm on cloud nine, so I'm just like, oh my God. Like, to me, this is like my high here, just coming here, doing this, using this platform, and to expand beyond what we're doing on top of that. Like, it's people like yourself that makes me keep wanting to do more of this. So thank you for that. Thank you for your realness, and thank you for your honesty, man. Like I said, rock on, bro. And thank you. Thank you for saying yes to us. And again, thank you for just having this conversation with us, man. We definitely got to do this again soon. Congratulations on the book once again. And again, thank you for just having this conversation with us, man. We definitely got to do this again soon. Congratulations on the book once again. Yeah.
Releases,
So
they're sold
Angela,
out. You can't get them, so don't even try. Not even us. Andy and Angela can't even get a copy because I waited one day to get my my books, and it was too late. But I'll be ready for the winter release this time. I just also want to say thank you so much because again, I think we're providing an opportunity to hear voices that we don't always necessarily get to hear because Andy and I, we talk to all different types of poets and writers and creators and comedians and whatever, artists, musicians. And this is important that all of us get an opportunity to share those voices. And it sounds like you're trying to highlight a lot of voices that don't necessarily get heard.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you guys so much for having me. This has been awesome. I would love to hang out with you, read with you, like
Thank
whatever. So
you.
uh,
Well,
yeah.
anyways,